Right, good afternoon everybody, and thanks for attending this education user webinar. My name's Peter Law and I'm the channel account manager for the South for VanillaIP. Now this is the latest in a series of webinars that we've been running this year. The first one we started off with was the Omni-Channel Contact Centre with the new dashboards. So that's where we introduced our new callback and web chat facility and our graphical and tabular wallboards as well, or dashboards. We also then went on to talk about our flexible seating and flexible working, so we had a webinar on that. And then that was followed by our compliance webinar, talking about GDPR, MiFID II call recording and PCI. And last month we did, I think it was last month anyway, we did the bespoke packaging, which really talked about something which is very close to our heart, and that is the feature appropriate user. So those of you within VanillaIP family will be very well aware of that, but for those of you who aren't quite so well aware, it's basically, it allows you to build a feature set which is appropriate for an individual user or a user group within an organisation, rather than a one-size-fits-all approach. So that's something that we do talk about a lot. And that really dovetails into what we're going to be talking about today, and that is the education user. Now I'm also going to tack on the end as well the charity user as well. So I'm going to be talking about two vertical markets here. Both of them have got similar types of challenges in terms of budget. So I'll be talking about charity user as well towards the end of the presentation. Tomorrow, just as a way of an advert, basically, we're going to be launching our Kixi call analytics. So we're bringing the Kixi into the VanillaIP platform. So for those of you who will be interested, I would urge you to get onto the webinar tomorrow. Starts at 2 o'clock. It'll last for about half an hour or so. You can register for that at vanillaip.com/webinars, and you can also view the previous webinars as well on that site. So if you've already seen those but want to go back and reference them, you can do. If you haven't seen them, then by all means go onto there and have a look at them. So moving on. We're talking about schools today. That's the main theme of today. So a school, is not just a school, but it's a diverse range of functions within a school. So unlike an organisation, a commercial organisation where you can fit some of the, you can do the feature appropriate users. There's a number of diverse ranges of functions within a school. So I'll move forward because I've got a bit mixed up there, but there's 3 or 4 that we've picked out here, and one of those is the office, the back office, basically the school office. So they've got particular issues, and they've got particular. Sorry, I'm just lost my train of thought there a little bit, but they've got particular characteristics. So if we're talking about the school office, at peak times they've got a lot of calls coming in, but these days it's not just calls, it can be emails. We can even set them up with queues and web chat and more call centre type functionality. So they're not actually a call centre, but we can provide them with cost-effective call centre functionality so that they can handle all the calls coming in. In terms of call recording, this is obviously an area which is of use to the back office in a school for disputes and also proof of conversations. So that's one area of the school that that we can address with our solutions. Going on from there, we've also got trips. How do schools handle trips? More and more schools are doing more and more trips, obviously, these days. My daughter's going on a trip next year to Barcelona, can you believe, for a week. So it's not only just costing me a fortune, but from a school point of view, they have to be able to monitor what's going on during that trip in terms of keeping in communication, so that the headmaster can keep in communication with the teachers, with the pupils, the parents can keep in contact as well. So they can have a trip phone with them, the teachers can have a trip phone with them, but not exposing the teachers' phone details in that, on that trip. Third area is collaboration, basically. So leadership groups, governors' meetings, even out of hours courses for adult learning, they may be using collaboration tools. So this might be video, it might be instant messaging, conference bridge, etc. So they can bring in people who can't make a meeting in the evening. So that's a very important part of a school solution, effectively. But what we're going to be talking about today mainly is about the classroom and having a specific classroom user. So this tends to be overlooked by most suppliers. They will provide a license or the features and functionality that they would provide to anybody else in the school. But what we're doing today is talking about a specific user for the classroom. Okay, so why are we doing this? Well, first of all, education is very much a specific market with specific challenges. The main one, there's a whole raft of challenges obviously that schools have, but one of the main ones is budgets. Because every pound that is spent on technology, on buildings, on anything else that detracts from education doesn't get to the pupil or the student. From your point of view, you've probably got a lot of challenges as well in closing sales. So in terms of priorities, these priorities might be, of the school, might be on a day-to-day basis. You may have come across a situation where you're just about to sign a contract, a deal with a school, and then the boiler breaks. What happens there? They're going to put that day-to-day priority in action, and that boiler will take precedence over the new telephone system or telephony system that's going in there. So that is obviously a prime thing. There's lots of excuses that and reasons why schools will not actually sign on the dotted line at that particular point. Another one is timing as well. We've got a 36-week school year, effectively, with 16 weeks of holidays, but that 36 weeks gets eaten into because they're probably not going to make a decision in the first 2 weeks of the school year. They're probably not going to make a decision in the last week before a half term or a term finishes. So that's cutting down the time that you can actually close that deal. And then of course the dreaded SATs, that's normally a week long, so that takes another week out of proceedings. So the education user will help you go back into any pipelines that have stalled and get that pipeline moving. We've had massive success since this was launched. It was launched in January, and we've seen, particularly from those organisations that do a lot with schools, those partners that do a lot with schools, that they've been able to get back in there now with the education user and close that business. It's been a phenomenal success. So what is the education user? Well, as I've mentioned already, it aligns to our feature-appropriate user. It is a single education package. It's a bespoke education package for the classroom. It can be used in staff rooms, it can be used in meeting rooms, obviously, or anywhere else in the school that, that doesn't need a great lot of features. What the pack is made up of are the features that you can see on the right-hand side that have just come up on the screen. So you are limited to one concurrent call. But there's a number of things in there. Basically what we've done is we've taken our smart user package, which is our base package, and we've stripped out a number of the features from that, such as our Unity Lite click-to-dial application. We've taken that out because that's not really relevant for a classroom. But we have kept in certain things, such as a Meet Me conference bridge, ideal for adult learning out of hours and probably during school time as well. We've left in our packet analyzer trace because if somebody is experiencing poor line quality, then we can trace the reason for that. And we've left in the toll fraud locking as well. So all those are kept in the education user because they're relevant to the classroom. You can use the education user in conjunction with the smart user, and how it's being sold at the moment is that the back office people would probably have a smart user with full features, and then the education user would go into the classrooms, into the staff rooms, etc. But you can also add additional features to the education user license as well. So if you did want voicemail for that classroom, if you did want call recording, then those can be added as you would with a smart user. So let's have a look at the T's and C's. It's a 30-day terms only. We're not issuing this with eternity licenses, and we're not issuing it with the rebate option. It's very much a cut-down version of the smart user, and we've obviously cut down our margins as well to make it as attractive and competitive as possible. You do need to provide a DOE number, a Department of Education number with each order, and standard VanillaIP call charges will apply if you're taking our minutes. Pricing. So up to 50 users, we are providing that at £1.70. Now, as you know, our smart user is £3.62, so it's a significant discount on that user. If you are using it up to 100 users, then it will be £1.45 per user per month, and over 100 users, it's £1.30 per user per month. So it's a very attractive price for the education arena. So hopefully that gives you a good overview of the education user. From a charity user, the main challenge, rather like a school, the main challenge is to be able to take whatever budget they have and spend it on the good cause. Typically, they use the same communications tools and the same features and functions as a normal business. So we would we're providing the charity user as the full smart user, but we're reducing the price significantly. So for the smart user element, we're actually providing the smart user at £1.81, and that's half the price, exactly half the price of the standard smart user. We also have a smart mobility package for the mobile users, and that's coming in at £3.25. And we also have our contact centre agent packages as well, as you can see at £11.63 for the standard, and the £14.74 for the premium package. Now, for those of you who don't know those packages, we can provide you with the details of what those packages provide. But the agent standard and agent premium are contact centre packages. Like with the education user, we do require the charity number, and as with the education user, there's no eternity license option and no rebate option. So, just to conclude, I've mentioned 2 or 3 times that it's aligning with our feature-appropriate user model. It really is a fantastic addition to your kit bag to go in there and close business with both charities and with education establishments such as schools and colleges. We've been talking about schools here, but it's also relevant for colleges. It's ideal for unblocking any pipelines that you may have at the moment, and it will widen your addressable market. Another key element that I haven't touched on, it allows you to support your local schools and charities. You can get kudos by providing a really good service, a really good competitive service, saving them money, and you can use that as a social media opportunity to promote yourselves and your company. Okay, so if you have any questions, should I ask? If you have any questions, please refer to your account manager. So if you're in the south, please contact me. If you're in the north, contact Lee. I'd just like to remind you one last time, we've got the Akixi webinar tomorrow. If you want to register for that, go to vanillaip.com/webinars. Thanks very much.